Kate again, owner of Small Biz Shipping Co., where we offer shipping supplies for your small business. So today we are back with our business chat and we are going to talk about listings on Etsy. Now, I know that there are many different parts of Etsy, but I felt like this would be a really great way for you to jumpstart your Etsy store. So there will be other videos that will talk about settings, shipping profiles, connecting your finances, marketing, Etsy ads, and other integrations. So be on the lookout for those videos. But today we are going to focus on our Etsy listings because there is so much information packed into this video that I think is really going to help your listings stand out from the competition. So if you take a look here, this is my Small Biz Shipping Co. Etsy listing center. So we are logged into my business account and I have clicked on listings here. If you do know my business well, you'll probably notice fairly quickly that my Etsy shop actually does not list everything that I offer. And that is designed on purpose because I want to slowly build my Etsy shop to keep the momentum going. So in general, a good rule of thumb is to make sure that when you create Etsy listings, you don't list them all in the same day, especially if you have multiple products or different variations. When you set up your shop, you can certainly set up a few products to get yourself started, but then consider spacing out adding new listings. That way you can keep your site fresh. Etsy sees that you're an active shop, that you're continuing to add new listings, and that will help push your products up in the search results when people are searching for items that you offer on Etsy. So if you have a total of 10 products, let's say, then you will want to work your way slowly to adding all 10 products. Now, here's a quick tip. If you only have a few products, you can get creative on Etsy and count it as a new listing. So, for example, let's say that I only had this 14.5 by 19 buffalo plaid mailer and this 10 by 13. So these will each be two separate listings. But then I could actually make a third listing that is a combo pack. So I could say in this combo pack, you're going to receive both 10 by 13 and 14.5 by 19. So you can switch it up with different variations of listings as long as the offering is different from another listing that you offer. Meaning in this particular listing, I'm only offering 14.5 by 19 size. And in this listing, I'm only offering 10 by 13, but my new listing would offer both. I could also maybe make a fourth listing that includes the buffalo plaid shipping tape. So that would be like a variety pack or a combo pack. So get creative with the products that you have. And once you've listed all of your products individually, consider coming back and listing them in groupings. So that's a quick tip. So let's get started with creating a brand new listing from scratch. So the first thing that I do that I always recommend is to just go out to Etsy.com, okay? You should be logged into your profile, but we're going to be out in the Etsy marketplace. And what we're going to do is a little bit of competitive research. So today I'm going to list some tissue paper for sale because if I look over my listings, I really don't have that much tissue paper listed, and I'd like to build out my tissue paper portfolio a little bit more. So the first thing that I'm going to do then is search for tissue paper on Etsy. And I'm just going to keep it really broad to begin with. Okay. The first thing that I'm going to look at is this row here. This is the most loved in tissue paper section on Etsy. So these are listings that are being favorited and saved. Then if we scroll down a little bit, you are going to see that the top results are actually ads. So if you look here, it'll say ad by Etsy seller. So consider that. I actually kind of throw these away when I'm doing research because they're paid. So I want to actually go down to my first row of non-paid search results to see what we can find. And what's really cool, there's my tissue paper. But let's keep looking for another shop. So here's Polylush, which is similar to my business. And so let's go ahead and open them up because they are a star seller. I am so close to star seller, but I'm not quite there yet. So let's open up Polylush. There's a few reasons that this is a great competitor to look at when I'm creating my listings. First, in the first two rows, Polylush has 1, 2, 3, 4 of the 8 listings is Polylush. So that's really good. They're also a star seller, and their sheer amount of sales, 1,208 sales on Etsy, and high reviews. So this is a really great example. Now, the reason that I look at competitors is not to copy. I do not offer any type of rainbow tissue paper right now, and I don't want to copy what they do. However, I do want to get a formula. And when I talk about a formula, that is your title formula. So if you break down the formula, and everybody's formula is going to be different, but you want to come up with a basic outline or diagram or formula, whatever you want to call it, for your shop product listings. And when I say that, I mean this. So they've broken it down here by rust rainbow tissue paper. So that's part 1. That's the most descriptive, to the point part of the title. Then they're getting into their keywords: gift wrapping paper, cute craft tissue paper packaging, small business packaging, 10 to 50 sheets of tissue paper. So if you take each section and break it down in between the commas here, this will give you a pretty good diagram of how to structure the title of your tissue paper. The next thing I want to look at is their photos. Okay, so they've got 3 photos here, super high quality, great photos, great lighting. You can very clearly see what the tissue paper is going to look like in person. Okay, the one thing that I do think is missing here is a video, but we will go over that in a second. And then I'm going to look at the description over here. So when I hit learn more about this item, this is the second most vital part. So there's 3 pieces that make up a really good Etsy listing. It's going to be your title, your description, and your chosen categories. So when we look at the description, we are looking at all of the keywords. Again, we are not copying what they have done. I can't stress that enough, because for so many reasons. First, we don't want to plagiarize. Second, it doesn't fit your brand. It's never going to fit your brand. You have your own voice. You have your own way of describing your items. But what we are going to look at is, again, the formula, the layout. What are they pointing out about their tissue paper? Okay, so this section here, this little descriptive keyword section, I'm not even going to read that. I don't want to potentially copy it. I don't want to even get to there. I will make my own description. But what I do want to look at then are the specifics about the tissue paper. What is it that they are pointing out that might be helpful to my customers? Well, first of all, the size, 20 by 28, the weight, the packs that they're available in, 10, 25, and 50, that it's recyclable. That's great to note. And then here are some really great, just more descriptors that include keywords. So we've got our formula now for both our title and our description. And one thing that I want to make very clear is when you're writing your description, it's important to use keywords. And I know I've said that a couple times. So for those of you who are not familiar with keywords, keywords are the words that you as a customer would type into Google when you are looking to purchase tissue paper, for example. Okay, so you want to make sure that you use different combinations because people search differently. So when I came up here and I searched for tissue paper, I could have been a little more specific and said cute tissue paper. I also could have said bat tissue paper, which was something I sold. I could say star tissue paper. Okay, so you do want to be descriptive about the tissue paper that you have, and also make sure that you include some larger keywords. So one thing that's really important to understand about Etsy and just any listings in general is SEO. And SEO stands for search engine optimization. And when we hear search engine, many people think of Google, Yahoo, Bing. Those are all search engines. But you may or may not know that Etsy is a search engine, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, they are all search engines, meaning that all of these platforms operate off of keywords when you use their search bar. And so that's why hashtags are so important on TikTok. That's why keywords are so important with your listings on Etsy. Okay, so we've done a little bit of research on a star seller's shop, and now it's time for us to make our own listing. Now, because I already have tissue paper listings, I could very easily go here to the little cog of a different tissue paper listing and just hit copy. But I'm not going to do that right now because I do want to take you through adding a listing from start to finish. So first things first, you want to make sure that you have photos and video of the item that you're going to put up here. So I am just going to type in tissue. I know that I have tons and tons of pictures up here. Okay, so let's do the gold Christmas tree tissue. And let's see if I can find any other photos that I might have of the gold tree. And I think for the sake of today's training, I might just stick with this one picture. Let's see, because I think that's all I have currently loaded here. Yes. Okay, so for the sake of today's training, we're going to stick with that. Ideally, you're going to have more than one. The other thing that we always want to include is what I call an end card. Okay, so the end card is just a little card that I like to put at the end of every listing. This is information about me, where they can find me online, and where they can actually find discounts or additional designs. Because ideally, while Etsy is really great for a first-time seller, your first website, or a way to bring in business, I ultimately don't want to pay Etsy's fees, and I want to send these people to my website. So I always include this end card with every single listing. So again, ideally, we would have more than one photo of the gold tissue paper. We would also have a video. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to look to see if I can find a video of the gold tissue paper very quickly here in my offerings, or in my media gallery, I should say, so that we can upload a video. But if not, I will upload a video just to show you what it's like to upload a video to your Etsy listing. One thing that I always say about any type of platform or tool that you use for selling or marketing your business is always utilize the tools and do what the platform tells you to. And in this case, the Etsy platform is highly suggesting that to get the best results on Etsy, please upload video. So if they're telling us to upload video, it must be important. And so I want to make my best effort to include video at any time that I can. So I am not finding a video right now, of course, of the tissue paper. I know that I've taken some. So for the sake of training, we'll probably just upload a different video. But one quick tip for videos is you don't have to take a high quality, like really amazing video. A lot of times what I do, especially if I'm in a hurry or I don't want to spend a lot of time on my Etsy listing like right at the moment, I will take a boomerang. If you're unfamiliar with Boomerang, it's a free app that you can use to create quick little videos. And it started off being with Instagram. And anyway, so now you can take those videos. And I actually just found some pictures and video of the gold Christmas tree in person. So I'm actually going to upload these to Etsy. I just shared them to my laptop now so I can upload these right away. Okay, so let's go down a little bit and we are going to upload our video. And another trick I'm going to show you, the video has to be more than 5 seconds. And I have boomerangs, of course, are 4 seconds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 2 videos here. Where did they go? They're in here somewhere. Can you tell how many videos I have and pictures of all this stuff? Okay, so let's find the gold. Here it is. So here are the 2 images and we are almost to the video. Come on. Okay, so I have my two videos here. They're both 4 seconds because they're both boomerang. So I'm actually going to open one. And then what I'm going to do is right with my QuickTime player, I'm going to click, let's see, edit, and then add clip to end. So what I'm doing essentially is just merging these two video clips together. And that way it becomes now an 8-second video clip of my tissue paper, and people can see it on Etsy and it'll be saved there. So I'm going to name it. Now, this is very important also what you title your images and videos. So I'm going to say gold Christmas tree tissue paper. Done. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the video section, click add video. There's my new gold Christmas tree video uploading. So right here is the little tip from Etsy that says, hey, if you upload video, buyers are loving it, you're probably going to sell more. So if they're telling you and giving you a hint, that means you should probably do it. Okay, so while they're getting my video ready, and I can see it there, I did also want to add 2 more photos that I found on my camera roll so that people can get in-life photos of what the tissue paper actually looks like in person. So what I'm going to do now is click and drag and slide that down the end because I always want this to be my final image in the listing. All right, so now we are to the title. So this is what we were talking about earlier, where we break down another listing and look at the title from a star seller. Okay, so if you come up with your own formula, I've come up with mine. So the very most important part is going to be describing exactly what your product is and being specific. So I'm going to say gold Christmas tree tissue paper. Okay, then I'm going to put my comma and say something like, let's get some ideas here. So if we go back to somebody's star seller tissue paper, I don't love that title. Let's go back a little bit. And let's go back to the other star seller because I actually really liked the Polylush listing. Okay, so they first specifically described it, then they started using keywords, okay? So I'm gonna say tissue paper packaging, Christmas tissue paper, gold tissue paper, and then I'm gonna say probably tissue paper, maybe festive, and then I'll say 25 to 100 count sheets. And then yeah, I'll probably do something, maybe instead of festive, I will say something like small business wrapping. Okay, so now I am over by 1. So if you see, I'm just a little bit too far. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take paper out of this section here. And now I've got five letters left here, so I'm good. Okay, so then about this listing, we're gonna say who made it, it's a finished product, it's made this year, category. So I'm gonna physically just type in tissue paper and see what they suggest. So I typically go with the first search result unless it's way off. Like for my poly mailers, a lot of times it'll pull up envelopes and stationery, and I have to, maybe pick a different category in shipping. But for this one, we're gonna go with tissue paper. And what's really cool is that Etsy says, here's all the categories here that we're gonna put your tissue paper in. Okay, so then look, Etsy's giving us another hint here. Adding attributes to your listing could help your customers find your item more easily. Again, this is all about keywords. This is all about different ways of searching for your product. So you want to stop and think of all the different combinations of words that people might type in to find your product. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say craft type. So automatically auto selected by them was party and gifting. So all I'm going to do is just go through here and make sure that there's not any other section in here that my tissue paper would apply to. Do not click these if they do not apply to your product, because if they show up, let's say I picked kids crafts and now my tissue paper starts showing up in kids crafts results and nobody's clicking on it, it's going to be seen as like a bad positioning on Etsy. It's not going to get any views. So do not select categories unless they specifically apply to what you are selling. Again, Etsy, just like Google, Bing, and Yahoo, they want to be as specific as possible because their goal as a business is to deliver the most direct and correct results for the customer, because of course they want people to buy stuff, and so they want to show results that most closely match the words that they typed in. So being specific is actually very good on Etsy. So instead of me just saying tissue paper, I said gold Christmas tree tissue paper. So if people type in Christmas tree tissue paper, I should come up. If they type gold Christmas, I should come up. So again, I'm being very specific. I am going to choose my color. I'm going to say that it is gold. I'm not going to choose a secondary color because they don't really have cream. I don't want to say beige. So I'm actually just going to leave it blank for the secondary, but I do like, if people sort by like show me all gold tissue paper, I definitely want to pop up. Then I'm going to choose my measurement units. So it is 20 inches high by 30 inches wide. This is not recycled, and I'm actually just not going to, it's recyclable. It's just not made from recycled material. So I'm going to skip that. Pattern I could put in here if I wanted to be like really specific, I could say plants and trees. But for right now, I'm not going to choose the category. Oop, there we go. So you can just backspace that out. Okay, so now we're going to go down to holiday. See if I can get this to unclick. Okay, there we go. So occasion, I'm not going to pigeonhole myself into an occasion, but I will attach a holiday to this because they are festive Christmas trees. I am going to say automatically renew. Now, if you had something that was like a one-time run or very specific to a holiday and you don't know that you're going to do it again, I would actually put manual, because otherwise it's going to automatically renew your listing once it expires. These are going up for 4 months. So if you're putting up Christmas stuff in August, you should be good through the end of the year with a manual renewal. If it's something that you want to sell year round though, just leave automatic on so that your listing doesn't expire and you don't remember to come in and renew it. But if you have a limited run or something, definitely check manual. Okay, what type of product is it? Mine is a physical product. You can sell digital files here, but for today's training, it is a physical product. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to head out to my website because I do have descriptions already set for this gold tissue paper. So I have taken the time to write a description already, so why rewrite something when I've already written something? So I'm actually going to include all of this here because it does have keywords in it, and it's on my website. So what you'll want to do is take time to write a description if you don't have a website. Again, think about what we looked at our competitor. We looked at a star seller's description. They had a little intro here, and then they had all of the basics there. Okay, so anything that you would want to say, I always include this disclaimer. Please note, actual colors may vary due to screen size, brightness, and type. Everybody's computers, smartphones, etc. are different. They're set to different levels of brightness, and I never want to misset expectations. I also want to cover my end if somebody gets something and they're like, oh, I didn't know it was going to be that gold or whatever. I always want this disclaimer. So I always put that there. And then I have my colors and designs and the size here, the inches, 30 inches by 20 inches. If I wanted to, the other thing that I could do is write a little something up here. So if I go back here, this top shop actually wrote a little something to include some keywords. So without really reading theirs, I don't want to read what they wrote because I don't want to copy. What I am going to say is something that I might say to my customer if they were looking at buying this. So I would say something like, brand new for the holiday season, this festive gold Christmas tissue paper, yeah, I need to capitalize my Christmas, is sure to help your shop make an impression with a one-sided gold foil tree design on the cream tissue paper. This packaging tissue is beautiful. Okay, so I tried to use different keywords like packaging tissue, holiday tissue, Christmas tissue paper. So 1, 2, and 3 word keywords with a one-sided gold. Okay, so now we're going to go down here. I don't have a production partner for this. This is my setting where if I have my poly mailers printed, I do check mark that to show that although I design the poly mailers, I don't manufacture the poly mailers. Okay, if I wanted to add this to a section, I could actually create a new section in my shop called tissue paper, which I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to hit save. If I had already had that section though, I would be able to just select it from my drop-down box. This is probably number 3, the most important part of your listing. So number 1 was your title, number 2 was your description, number 3 are your tags. We have 13 tags to be found on Etsy. So those are tags are your keywords or keyword combinations. So it doesn't have to be just one word. It can be 1, 2, or 3 words. The multiple word keywords are called long tail keywords. It's just another way of saying, a short keyword description of your item. So I'm going to show you guys an Etsy trick that has worked for me really well because I know that this can be very overwhelming. Search engine optimization can be tricky to understand. So I want to help you. So remember how we are looking at a competitor, again, not to copy them, but to make our lives a little bit easier to hopefully crack the code of Etsy listings. So all you need to do is go back to that sample competitor listing and we're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. Okay, so you're going to see more from this shop. You're going to see you may also like with some ads. We're going to keep scrolling. Popular gifts, keep scrolling, browse more, keep scrolling until you reach these cute little circle images. This is called explore related searches. And guess what, guys? These are your categories. These are your related categories to what you're selling. And guess what else? What a coincidence. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there are 11 of the 13 keywords on this particular listing that we can use in our Etsy listing. There are some listings that have all 13. So again, it can be very specific to your listing. So this will give you a really good start of where, what keywords you can use for your own listing. But please keep in mind that not every related keyword here is going to 100% match what you have. However, it will give you an idea of what to type. So number 1, tissue paper sheets, 100% that matches what I'm offering. So I'm going to write tissue paper sheets and then I just hit enter to add it. Okay, now I'm going to come over here. Box tissue paper, for sure. That is also something that applies. Then gift bag paper and office supplies. Both of those apply. Because often, for small businesses, they come in office supplies. Okay, now we run into a keyword that may or may not apply or that I might not deem as necessary or critical to my listing. So I'm going to skip recyclable for right now, and I'm going to go to wrapping paper and packaging supplies. Wrapping paper, packaging supplies. All right, so I've got 7 left. And again, these are very valuable descriptive words. So you do want to make sure that they match. Cute tissue paper, small business. Okay, cute tissue paper, small business, 100% both of those, and then just the term tissue paper. So now I have 4 left. And if I look over here, craft paper, I don't feel like that really describes my product, and I don't feel like recyclable is, although my tissue paper is recyclable, it's not as critical to my listing. So I'm done. These gave me some really great ideas over here, but I'm going to go back now to my listing. And I'm going to look at my title. Remember how hard we worked on our title? We came up with that formula. We want to make sure that we jammed it with keywords that make sense and that are relevant. So look, right here, Christmas tissue paper, fantastic keyword string. So we're going to come down here and we're going to say Christmas tissue paper. Uh-oh, you can't enter more than 20 characters. So instead, I'm going to say Christmas tissue. Then I'm also going to say gold tissue paper because I feel like that's very important considering that this tissue is predominantly gold and it's reflective. So the other thing that I might consider is either gold Christmas tree or tissue paper packaging or some form of like foil, gold foil tissue. So when I look at this, I've got 2 tags left. So I think one of them is going to be gold foil tissue. And then one of them, I do want to get Christmas in there again. So I want to say Christmas tree tissue. Okay, how about gold tree tissue? There we go. So all 13 are in. So I'm hoping that if I were to search any of these terms in Etsy, that my listing would come up. Now, this is also something that you can add in if you'd like to. It's not as important as the tags, but certainly feel free. Now, with my materials for tissue paper, there's not really much to put in here. I could put paper, foil, gold, fleck, and tissue paper. I mean, there's really nothing else that I can put in there. Okay, now we're going to go to our pricing. So here's a big point of contention with a lot of people with Etsy. Etsy is a fantastic way to get started with your business. The fees are low compared to hosting a website and building and managing a website. Because if you pay for a Shopify, there's a monthly fee that you have to pay. And if your sales are not out earning that monthly fee, it's probably not worth it. So Etsy is great in that way. The other way that it's really great is that it brings you business if you stay up to date with your Etsy account, meaning that you're continually adding listings, you're sharing it on social media, etc. The downside to Etsy are the fees. But of course, they're taking a cut of your profit based on your sales and if you're running any ads, etc. Now, a lot of people get really salty about that, which I understand. But what I want to make sure that I do as a business owner is cover my cost. So what I'm going to do is I know I've got a good product. I know that I don't want to discount my product. And I'm already going to take a hit selling it on Etsy. So I am going to increase the price a little bit. I'm also going to offer free shipping. If I had something very unique and heavy, I would not offer free shipping. But because most of my items are around the same amount to ship, I'm going to offer free shipping and I'm going to factor that into my price. So if I go to my website, my 25 count of tissue paper is $21. So on Etsy, it's going to be $22. Now I know that that's only $1 difference, but I still want to consider that I want to make a sale. And ultimately, I'm going to include a card similar to this in their package. So what I look at Etsy as my marketing tool. And I say, if Etsy is the place that earns me a new customer, That was my customer acquisition fee. That was the cost of a new customer. And in any other form of business, you're going to have to spend money to find clients or customers. So in my mind, I'll take a hit on my first sale, include my thank you card with a discount code and my website, and say, come shop on my website. If you liked what you got from me, did you know that I have a website that you could go to and purchase from on your next purchase? Oh, and by the way, here's a coupon as a thank you for purchasing. So if I can get them in the door with my first Etsy, then I'll include all the information I can to get them to purchase on my website the next time so that I don't have to pay the fees. So again, increase your price a bit, but also keep in mind that you want to sell items, so you don't want to go too high. And then any other money that you might be out, if you're including free shipping or, the transaction fees, think of that as your marketing fee, your customer acquisition fee. Okay, so now I'm going to say I have a quantity of 20 sets. So now I'm going to add my variations. I have different variations, and in here I don't think is count, so I'm actually going to create a new variation, and I'm going to call it count. Okay, and we're going to have 25 count. We're going to have 50 count. Now, remember, I want to control my shipping cost. So if I knew that anything over 50 count of the tissue would cost more than my average of $8 for priority shipping in a priority mailbox, then I probably don't want to offer anything that's going to cost me more. So again, think of this as you want to limit what you sell so that you can control your costs in hopes of getting them to purchase through your website the next time. So don't post anything that's going to be super heavy and offer free shipping. You're allowed to limit your quantities and variations on Etsy to really control all of your costs. So in this case, I do offer 100 count. It doesn't add that much weight because it's tissue paper. So I am going to go ahead and add 25, 50, and 100 count. And I am going to say that the prices vary for each count. Okay, so we're going to hit save and continue. So now here are all of my variations. I'm going back to my website. 25 count is $21. I'm going to say it's 22. My 50 count is $39.99. I'm going to say it's 41. Oh, not 410. And my 100 count here is 75. So guess what? It's 76. All right. So now that we have all of this in here, if you wanted to collect personal information for anything, you could turn that on and write your request. I do not need that in this case. The next section is your shipping section. I just set up shipping options. I will do a whole nother video on orders and shipping profiles later on, because you can set certain shipping costs based on the region, the type of product, the weight, etc. So for right now, we're just going to click the profile that I've already set up, and I will make a video on how to set up shipping profiles. But this particular profile offers free domestic shipping with 1 to 2 business days processing time from the zip code from which I run my business. The next section would be the tariff number. If you sell to anywhere outside of the United States and you're based in the United States, then you'll want to include a tariff number. So if you sell to the US and Canada or Mexico or anywhere in Europe or any other country, you have to put a tariff number in here. The tariff number is what tells customs what's inside the package, and it better match. So you can actually look up tariff numbers, and if any of you sell on Fair or Abound, those are wholesale websites, you might be familiar with tariff numbers. There's a great tariff database, and I will link it in the comments here or in the description of this video. So the next thing is going to be the item weight. And so I'm going to put 1 pound because that's the average weight of all of these together. A 25 count is going to be less, 100 count is going to be a pound. You want to actually weigh your items, especially if you're charging for shipping. If your information is incorrect, you're either going to be undercharging or overcharging for automatic shipping. So you have to make sure that what you put in here is correct. Also, if you have a standard size package or box or envelope that you use to ship this particular item in, put the dimensions in. It's all going to be used to calculate shipping. So once I put in my dimensions and my weight, Etsy actually gives you a preview shipping price. So the label for me to send this tissue paper to Chicago would be $5.78 with an Etsy shipping label. If I change it to New York, same price, okay? If it goes over a pound, let's say it's 1 pound, 5 ounces, all of a sudden it's up to $8, which that's more on the dot with what I typically spend in shipping costs per package. And remember, I'm offering free shipping. So because I'm offering free shipping to my customers, this number and this auto calculation is very important for your bottom line cost. So make sure that you weigh your items, you know what package you're shipping in, and then do some tests and see what would it cost to send it to different parts of the US so that you can realize, you can get an idea of, okay, I'm going to be eating $9 in shipping on this. Do I want to take $9 off of $22? Will I still make a profit? And if you won't, then charge shipping. It's different for every business owner. Okay. So then I'm also I already set up a return and exchange policy. So I'm going to hit apply. If you want to change, if you don't want to offer returns or anything, if everything's final sale, make sure you set up a policy. So the very last part then is the most exciting. You get to hit publish. And now this will be live in my Etsy shop, which is so awesome because now you guys got to follow along while I added a new tissue paper to my Etsy shop, which is really cool. Okay, so I hope this helped you. I hope that you learned a thing or two. Definitely please leave a comment below. Let me know if you learned something new. If you have some tricks or information or tips, please feel free to share them. I am by no means an expert. I just am sharing my experience and my journey with Etsy thus far. All right, so be on the lookout for other small biz training videos. We'll be covering other parts of Etsy. We'll be covering Shopify, etc. So make sure you follow me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. You can shop at smallbizshippingco.com. And for watching this video today, if you've watched it through to the end, you can save $10 on your next purchase by using code YouTube. So thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and comment to help my small business grow so that I can continue sharing all of these training videos for free. Thank you so much as always for your support, and I hope this video helped. Take care, everybody.